Than this, Knickers, a Holstein Friesian steer, is a bovine behemoth that stands out from the herd. At 194 centimetres, he's as tall as basketball star Michael Jordan. He weighs 1.4 tonnes, which has its advantages. He's too heavy for the abattoir, so he'll live out his days in the paddock.
Okay, now I'm just going to double check, make sure that we can actually hear me, because that was just an absolute cluster. Okay, we're good. One of these days I will actually be able to get through this in an entire show without some form of boomerang that, whoa, Chuck Wilson dropping 5 memberships, holy cow. I mean, we were already going straight to Doggo Cam because I completely missed the fact that Jacob's Proud Marjorie dropped me a PayPal yesterday. So, but either way, holy cow. Sounds like the wrong mic. It's still coming through in video broadcast. Oh, screw it. You know, I'm just going to switch across to the, I'm just going to switch to the microphone directly. Hang on. Default microphone is currently set as Logitech StreamCam. Well, that's the wrong camera. I mean, that's the wrong microphone anyway. Set it to the Yeti, so it's not going to have... Aaron Hack dropping another 5 memberships. Holy crap. Thank you, guys. Yeah, well, the boomerang doesn't make me feel so great, not going to lie. Damn. Okay. Whoa, first things first. Are you ready for your close-up, Angel? There we go. Oh, and lovely. She's got the socks in the... Yeah, she's got the socks in the shot, too. Yeah, Chad, we're going to talk about that in a second, but firstly, I just want to say, holy crap, thank you so much to everyone dropping memberships. For everyone that got a membership, please say thank you, because that's royally amazing. I actually generally prefer the memberships over Super Chat simply because it's about building the community. But yeah, no, that's great. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So let's have a quick say hello to chat. Jason J. Been catching up on Friday Night Tights. Decided to check and see if I was going to stream. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to put out the notification roughly an hour beforehand. The locals one, I think, was about 15 minutes, unfortunately. But I'm getting into a better rhythm of a morning. We're getting up. I'm getting the munchkin ready. We're getting ready for big school because I got to make sure that. So between waking up and then going live, obviously, I'm going to have to get her dressed, get her bag packed, get her breakfast, get her off to school. So the second week of February will be interesting. You'll have to bear with me. She's back at daycare from because I got my birthday on the 10th, so the 15th, she's back at daycare. No, the 8th. She's back at daycare on the 8th, sorry. And we'll play around with that. Flux in the house. Aussie. Hoi. Carlos 24/7. Hello. Got the oi. Bifrons making chicken Alfredo with Walmart garlic bread. Lovely. TNR. Hello. Tammy F. Good to see you. Just Cause. Zero Signal. Actually, I'm loving seeing all the green in the chat, by the way. Hello. Renee Monet. Hello. Shawfoss. Good evening to you too. Grifter Wannabe. Oh, good. The BBC is coming on. BBC News is coming on. Wait, am I BBC News? I personally think I'm a little less biased than the BBC, but thank you. Aaron Hack. Hello. Burberries. 1.4 tons. Damn. Oh, yeah, that was from the cow. Yep. Ginger with a soul. Went day drinking, and now I'm day drunk. Best way to do it. Shenny. Hello. Mamasaurus Rex. Loving it. Psychodoll X. Yes, I was muted as all hell, apparently, because... Okay. On the upside, as soon as I can afford it, I'm going to get a Roadcaster. I've spoken to other creators. I've worked a few other things out. It's expensive because they're not cheap. They're made in Sydney and surprisingly ship all over the world. I think it's quite funny that, for example, Nick and Camelot both have something that was produced in Australia working for them on their setups. But I am going to get one myself. But again, it's not cheap. It's an XLR setup, so it's not using USB ports or anything like that. I've spoken to my brother-in-law, who's a sound technician as well, does major productions and that sort of thing. And I'm thinking that, I think that's the way to go, because at least that will be, A, it'll remove any latency from the audio, and B, it'll mean that I can turn off NVIDIA Broadcast in terms of the microphone, and I'll have my sound effects back. And if I'm right, and I have no idea if I am, but I might be, I'll be able to take the audio from a YouTube stream. So, for example, the court trial streams, run it through the Roadcaster as a separate separate import. So out of the speakers into the Roadcaster, boost the gain and various other things so that the sound improves, and then run it back through StreamYard as part of my mic. So not only will you not have to worry about me blowing people's ears out, but theoretically I should be able to also fix some of the stream audio, which would be fantastic. Anyway, all right. Solwell54, hello. Linda Drescher saying what? Stargazer, yep. Sure, it was a great speech. It really wasn't. I was just making fun of the cow for how many hamburgers it could be. Yes, thank you very much for that. Need an Aussie rant about Marty being wiped off the face of YouTube? Yeah, we're getting there. Just let him cook. Sign language. Okay, this is back when the sound came back. Just double checking that I haven't missed saying hello to anybody. If there's anyone, shed occupant. How's the shed doing today? Is it damp? Are there spiders? How are you doing? Zero signal. Lovely. Aaron. If I've missed anyone, throw a wave in the chat or something just so I can say hello, because I need to whip through this and say hello and just get moving on things. So I think that should be everyone. We'll call Magic. Hello. Star. Hello. How are you? I was thinking about you the other day. Yes, Angel is a chonk. She's also very cute. Your audience wants boomerang. You're just so nice to always do it for us. Yeah, but it hurts. I'm not gonna lie. At different times, it physically hurts. Little old me hello from Arizona. Hello to you too. YouTube is asshole. Yes. Viking Buddha. Hello. You've been really sick. I'm really sorry to hear about that. And Just Joy is lurking. Captain Zach Brannigan reminding me of my heritage, which I am never going to escape. And Angel Wolf 23, hello. Jacob Castro saying hail Rumble. Wim is lurking over on Rumble. I'll just pull up the Rumble chat. Neo Dark Matter, Daft Lad, hello. Gemini the Witch is over on Rumble. Jacob Castro. I think it might have been a comment that Mighty left on my latest video that got him yeeted. It was an obvious joke about sending me a gun, but YouTube has no sense of humor. No, look, we're going to talk about that. We like the boomerang because it's an easy way to mock you. Yes. Now, in order to set the scene here, I'm just going to say, because I had thought about a little bit of a monologue, soliloquy, whatever you want to call it. Simple fact of the matter is, Mighty Meat, a friend of the channel, a personal friend of me, yesterday completely lost his channel. It got nuked from orbit. No strikes, no warnings, no nothing. Completely gone. Now, he apparently spent a few hours chatting with YouTube to try and find out exactly what was going on. After a few hours of support, which I can personally attest to because I myself spent, 40 minutes a couple of weeks ago, all I would tell him is that he had allegedly committed a policy violation. Would not tell him what policy violation, would not tell him what video, what comment, what anything else was done. Just that it may or may not come back in the next 7 to 28 days, and if it does not, it is gone completely. So, obviously Mighty Meat was too base for YouTube. Yeah. So what I am suggesting to people is, if you are a fan of his content or whatever, if you were watching him previously, go and hit him up on Rumble. Because they don't know themselves. Yeah, probably. For me, Jacob, I think what's happened is, more than likely, I mean, look, if it's a purge leading up to a certain event coming up in 2024, which is entirely possible, because he's made no qualms about who he supports for certain events, getting yeeted for a comment seems rough. Yeah, and that's why I'm sort of thinking that I personally am like, well, maybe it's just that they're Steve Gosney suggested a class action. Well, see, the trouble is that the YouTube terms of service, because I had a look at myself, specifically say that there is no guarantee that they will maintain your channel. So it could theoretically be gone in a poof any day. Actually heard rumors that a big purge is coming. Yeah. Hiding from my family, they want to go shopping. Fair enough, Just Joy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, as far as I'm aware, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, he hasn't done anything particularly controversial, at least not on YouTube anyway. He always saves the spicy stuff for Rumble, which is why we save the spicy stuff for Rumble. So if you haven't already, I am telling you right now, go and subscribe to Mighty Meat, rumble.com. Hang on, let me bring up, I'll throw it into chat. Hang on, where am I? I should actually be a good friend and do it properly. Because I'm not going to lie, okay? After this has happened, my list of friends on the internet is starting to dwindle. There are some people that are arrogant fuckwits. There is some people that I just would rather stick my nuts in a bear trap than associate with. So, if anyone in chat has any thoughts as to anyone that, I mean, I always get the full Aussie, yeah, sure, I'm going to reach out to those boys anyway. If you have any ideas as to anyone that I could potentially collab with or anything like that, please let me know, preferably down in the comments, because if you do it in chat, then I have to wait for YouTube to process the chat after the stream and all that sort of stuff. And I forget. Let's face it, I'm a loser. So I just need to... He did a quick stream last night after he got yeeted. I felt so bad for him. Yeah, my heart broke. This is a grown man that had watched an entire year of his life. Hard effort that he's put in. And because say what you will about production value, okay? We're younger streamers. Don't really care. None of us are able to throw in the money like Law by Mike or Mr. Beast or anything like that. We do our best with what we have. And I'm not saying, that makes me sound like I'm being critical of Mighty's setup. I'm not. I'm saying what he did was put in a fuck ton of effort. He put in hours. He dedicated himself to bring people the topics, the news, the stuff that's interesting. and they pulled the rug out from under him with, as far as I'm concerned, no justification and no warning. So, does he have another account into using chat? I can neither confirm nor deny whether or not he's going to, because if they allege that he has breached certain policy violations, he's never allowed to have another YouTube account, even to interact with chat. The other side of it that I think is complete and utter bullshit is that because YouTube and Google are intrinsically integrated, he lost his email address as well. That's just gone poof. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if he was using that email address to access, I don't know, stuff for work or to produce income otherwise, or to receive important information, and he can no longer access that, I feel like there's a little bit of an issue there as well. YouTube's a gamble. You either get off scot-free or you trip over every obstacle they can throw at you. This is true. So, it should come back as the mightier me. But yeah, so I mean that's really what it boils down to, is that YouTube's a bit of a crapshoot. There's a reason why most of us still stream over on Rumble. He's going to take some time off, probably the next couple of days, spend some time with the family, which he technically had already planned to do. But come Monday, Tuesday, you're going to have to keep an eye out for his notifications, because Rumble's a little bit better, but as far as I'm aware, it doesn't have locals. I will be advertising at least on Twitter as much as I can when he's going to go live and that sort of thing. Any also possible money accounts linked to his email, I've heard, for donations. Yeah, that's the other thing. Mighty was monetized. The memberships, the super chat donations, all that sort of stuff. He's not going to see any of that. The channel's gone. YouTube's keeping that money. Even if the channel is reinstated, from my understanding is from past experience for what has happened with other creators, he's not getting that money. Which, as far as I'm concerned, frankly, is theft. But that's my own personal opinion on the matter. Let's face it, since he votes a certain way, the feds are watching all former feds. Got an email last night saying my membership was paused. Yeah, as did I. And that actually is what triggered me off to work out exactly what was going on. Because I got the notification to say that my membership had been paused. It did say that if it was going to be reactivated, that they would they would credit me the time or whatever else. But no, it's some complete and utter bullshit. It didn't say which channel was paused on. Nope. As a creator, getting that email, I freaked the fuck out thinking it was mine. Well, it was a well-worded email, YouTube. Thank you very much for that. What do we got? YouTube's fluid terms of service. Yep. Little Galaxy, hello. They might have wanted to get rid of him and use an excuse like a comment to trigger to get rid of. Look, possibly. He worked damn hard for a full year. That's why I'm watching over here and not on YouTube. Yep. YouTube would be a cyber polygon helper to censor free speech. Yeah, and look, we're going to talk about a bit of censoring of freedom of speech later today. Later on in the show, I'm going to be talking about Professor Andrew Timmings. Sorry, Professor. I hope you're not watching that. I did reach out on Twitter because I couldn't find any email addresses or anything. Yeah, we're going to talk about free speech a little bit later. But if you only have 4-channel memberships, it's not hard to figure out. That's true too. Wasn't YouTube toying with the idea of yeeting channels for content outside of YouTube? Look, that is technically in their terms of service as well. But, I mean, if they start yeeting channels left, right, and center because they're doing content on other channels, they are going to face lawsuits. He was banned by a program for some random asshat reporting something. No, I don't think it was so much that. It is very easy to ruin someone's channel. Yep. Balls and Thunder saying hi, bye. Thank you for the drive-by. Hopefully you hit the like button. Did he have any strikes or anything? No. I'm not even sure he had a content warning. So, unless what's happened is they've gone back and looked over his videos and applied 3 strikes immediately, which as far as I'm concerned, they should not be able to do. They should not be able to do that. How long to your cell phone company, your internet provider, and even your bank does the same thing? We're all at risk. Jacob, the banks here are already doing it. I've been trying to blast it from the rooftops that certain banks here have already instituted as of November that there are rules in their terms of service now that if you use your bank account to promote something they don't like online, they can freeze your account. Actually says, even I have a content warning? Yeah.
See, and you fear that I'll get you yeeted? Yeah, sometimes, Stingy. Listening while driving. Okay, no worries. Well, I don't know. But yeah, so that's more or less where I wanted to start with that, is that, because Mighty's been a good friend of the channel. You know, as with everything, there's always drama with everybody at certain points. But like I said, after I found that out and realizing that my circle is closing, little Fortnite reference for you, you know, it was a little bit depressing to see that the internet felt just a little bit lonelier. So, yeah, Mighty has very intelligent opinions, so. Band has lost 3 record deals now because we like the music of a guy who was at J6. It's wild out there in any sort of media. That's fucked up. The Aussie overfuel, it needs to kick in really quickly today. Alright. Anyway. Let's get stuck into the actual show, because we're 20 minutes in and I haven't actually said a damn thing. Oh, hang on. That would actually appear to be someone at the door. Hello? You want me to turn everything off? Do this. 2 seconds, peeps. I shall be right back. Let me put you on with Funny Shit from Twitter, Volume 1. Sorry about that, peeps. Believe it or not, that was the wife coming in to caution me about what I am and aren't saying on YouTube, because the last thing I need to do is get yeeted. That's what it was. And whilst I hugely appreciate her looking out for me, that's the level of paranoia that we have to have with YouTube at the moment. Like, that's where we're at. So, but anyway, let's actually get stuck into the show, shall we? So things that I won't be talking about today. An owl collided with a cop car in Washington. Police are saying that it was armed and dangerous and came straight at them. A school principal has been arrested in India for forcing students to clean the septic tank, which is just shitty teaching in my opinion. It must be a slow news day on CNN because they're talking about how often you should wash your hair, and the world's oldest chicken has died aged 21. Yes, the dog has no head. What are you doing? There goes the tail. And flying the friendly skies, Boeing has advised airlines to inspect the 737 MAX planes to look for possible loose bolts. Things that we will be talking about today, remaining in the friendly skies, American Airlines has clapped back at Sydney Watson after she complained about getting stuck between 2 fat people. 81 councils have decided to overstep their authority and cancel citizenship ceremonies on Australia Day. A DJ has said that he was partially drunk when he filmed himself urinating on an old man. I should bloody well hope that he was drunk. Someone stole an entire driveway in Florida, and a Texas coach has been arrested after making it rain at a strip club using the school's credit card. And as I mentioned, Finally, we're going to be looking at the case of Professor Andrew Timmings, an Australian academic who alleges that he was fired for free speech because he criticised St. Greta Thunberg. How dare you? So, Sydney was not wrong for being upset. I don't think she was either, but we're going to get into it. Make sure you self-censorship responsibly while operating on YouTube. Pretty much. They have septic tanks in India. I was surprised too, but I didn't want to be racist about it. So, all right, let's get stuck into it, people. Welcome to today's episode of Law, News, and Laughter. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, getting stuck into it. I want to get Sydney out of the way because, look, she's not my favourite person in the world, but we kind of need to, yeah. Anyway, airline had blunt response to woman who was wedged between obese passengers on a flight. I love the lad Bible throwing shade here, as if Sydney Watson is not a person of note. They've just said, yeah, the airline had a blunt response to some woman who complained about being on a plane. I thought that was hilarious. An airline had a blunt response to a woman who complained that she was wedged between obese passengers during a flight. Look, sitting in the middle row on a plane isn't exactly the most enjoyable of experiences. If you've not got someone, who the hell wrote this? If you've not got someone falling asleep on you, you might have someone chewing your ear off from the second the plane takes off. But usually you just get on with it, maybe doing the odd wake-up cough or putting in your earphones. Rarely would you take to X to publicly shame your seat neighbours. Again, this just shows to me that either they're taking the piss or the writer of this article on Lad Bible has no idea who Sydney is. Because of course she was going to take to X to complain about this. Are you freaking kidding me? The woman stubs her toe, she takes to X. Like, seriously. Didn't she try to sue because Elijah was too male to her? Renee, I'm going to steer clear of the lawsuit stuff. Mainly because I don't know all of the details and I wouldn't want to put my foot in it, like she occasionally does. But at the same time, there's other issues there that I don't want to get involved in. Author is a whale, confirmed. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Hang on, let's check. Do they have... Oh, no. They have left their name off, and that is unfortunately a... We can call that a gender-neutral name in today's day and age, so I can't really even say that it's just a fat whale. Chandler, how you doing? Where are we? One traveller took to social media to complain about the obese people sat beside her, calling it not okay. American Airlines later responded to the flyer, but its acknowledgement has received an extremely mixed response. The passenger, Dr. Sydney Watson, wrote on X last year? Seriously? This is what you dredged up, Lad Bible? Come on. Like, I know that the... no photos or the confirmation we need. Yeah. Look, I get it. You're struggling for content ideas. The company is struggling, as far as I'm aware. The whole, like, the brand, like the company that owns Lad Bible, I think they're struggling. Can't remember. I vaguely remember reading something about it. But they later responded to the flyer, but its acknowledgements left people with mixed responses. Sydney Watson wrote on X last year, I'm currently literally wedged between two obese people on my flight. This is absolutely not acceptable or okay. If fat people want to be fat, fine, but it is something else entirely when I'm stuck between you with your arm rolls on my body for 3 hours. I'm not disagreeing with her on that. I was thinking for a moment, did this happen again? Yeah, well. I mean, this is what, October 22, so... Dr. Watson continued her rant by declaring that she didn't care if her statement is mean. My entire body is currently being touched against my wishes. I can't even put the armrest down on either side because I have no fucking room. I'm sick of acting like fatness to this extent is normal. Let me assure you, it is not. No worries, Just Joy. Enjoy the shopping. Hopefully. Did this happen again? Thought this was an old story? Yeah. It's an old story. But, you know, again, it was a slow news day. What am I going to do? Tell you stories about owls getting hit by police cars? I won't, but thanks. All right. She resolved, if you need a seatbelt extender, you are too fat to be on a plane. Buy 2 seats or don't fly. After tagging American Airlines in her repost, telling the company they need to talk, they need to talk, the airline responded. It wrote, "Our passengers come in all different shapes and sizes. We're sorry you were uncomfortable on your flight." Okay. However, American Airlines has received extremely mixed responses to its reply. Some users agree that Dr. Watson's outrage at the airline's reply, "Seriously, your passengers shouldn't be taking up multiple seat areas. I've had this happen multiple times on American, and Sydney is right. This is not acceptable." Another accused the airline of hating fat people for not being able to accommodate them with proper seating. Well, yeah, fat equals special privileges. Well, it does now on certain airlines, because now, if you're over a certain weight, you get a free second seat. Like... There's just no. Yes to the owls. Multiple times. Another accused the airline itself of hating fat people. Third person commented, "Is supportive of 2 of their passengers violating the personal space of another passenger." Right. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying I have a friend in my circle that's exactly how they would have reacted. That's all I could think in my head, and it just had to come out. I mean, look, to be fair, it is. It's assault. It's unwanted bodily contact in a situation where, whilst you may have to expect a certain level of that, because you are in cramped, confined spaces, it shouldn't be overly done. It shouldn't be beyond the boundaries. Have to pay to ship heavier packages, so why don't airlines charge by the pound to fly? What, you're saying that people should be treated like luggage? I don't necessarily have an issue with that. It does mean that I'd probably have to catch a cruise to America, but... Mi scusi. Other users defended the airline and criticized Dr. Watson for her harsh comments. How much do you want to bet those are the fat fucks that are all up for body positivity? You're sorry for having to sit next to Sydney. Well, hang on. That's not the same as... saying that they feel sorry for having to sit next to Sydney is not the same as saying that you're sorry that, like, you're supporting the airline about the fat issue. That could easily just be because you wouldn't want to have to sit next to Sydney. That's not the same thing. Let's make that absolutely clear there. Lad Bible previously contacted American Airlines for comment. How long did you wait for comment? I mean, it's literally been over a year, and they provided nothing? Are they referring to her as Dr. Law? Yeah. So, Dr. Watson. What's this? Dad flies an EasyJet plane to Spain. Oh, this was the guy that... Hang on.
Who's on row 50 with my little boy. Hopefully he's asleep by now. I should keep it down or I'll get told off. She rolled over and punched me in the back of the head and said, "Our flight's delayed by 2 hours because they are -1 captain for the flight."
I love this video. Basically, this is a pilot that was going on holiday, and the wife got the phone call to say, yeah, the flight's been delayed because the plane itself does not have a captain. So what he does is he calls up the airline and says, "Hey, I've got all my credentials. I don't usually fly with you guys. I'm happy not to be paid, but if I come in, can we still make the flight?" And so I think I actually love that. Like, this is just people helping people. This is what the world needs.
The reason why, they've already cancelled the Budapest today. They've cancelled the Paris. The Faro is 3 hours late, and there's several other aeroplanes that are going 2, 3, 4 hours late, who knows. So just before we went through security, I thought, I wonder if this is worth a phone call. I think it is, because I'd like to go on holiday. So I phoned EasyJet and said, "Hiya, I'm standing in the terminal doing nothing. I've got my licence with me, deliberately, from being punched in the back of the head at 3 a.m. I've got my ID with me, and I'd very much like to go on holiday, and if you need a favour, I'm standing here ready to go." And I said, "We'll phone you back." 38 seconds later, he phoned me back and said, please, pretty please, with a big cherry on top, can you fly the aeroplane to Alicante? We're going to position another pilot out from some other base to bring the aeroplane back here. So if you're alright for one of your pilots to look like for this today, we'll go to Alicante." How's that sound?
So I love that kind of shit. I really do. And from that, we're going to move on to boy 14 arrested after killing his parents and critically injuring his 11-year-old sister before blaming the crime on an intruder in California. Because of course it's California. Where the hell else would it be? A 14-year-old boy has been arrested after allegedly killing his parents and trying and failing to murder his little sister. Si Vang and her husband Lu Yang, both 37, were found dead in their isolated rural property in Fresno County, California on Wednesday night. The boy allegedly tried to kill his 11-year-old sister, but she is expected to recover from her injuries. Another brother, age 7, was also in the home but was not injured. He called 911, claimed an intruder broke into the home and killed his parents and attacked his sister before fleeing in a pickup truck. Fresno County Sheriff said deputies arrived at the scene on the 4700 block. I was going to say 47. What the fuck time is that? In Dunlap Road near Miramonte at about 7:40 p.m. Hey, Manny. Oh no, they're Asian. It was the one-arm man. It was the chicken. They found the bodies of the parents and the critically injured girl who was rushed to hospital and spoke with the teenager. Deputies found inconsistencies with his story of a murderous intruder and formed the view that he allegedly made it up to cover his tracks. He used multiple weapons to murder his parents and attempt to kill his sister. They alleged, The boy was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He will not be named because he is a minor. The motive for the attacks is not yet known. Asians stop the hate. It was actually used multiple weapons, premeditated, not a spontaneous fit of rage. I love this. Someone from the UK trumps America. Fresno votes Democrat, but all you have is to blame Trump instead of the real problems. Get a bucket of sand. Oh, I love that. Lock him away for life without parole. He can't be rehabilitated. Nope. Happy New Year in Vietnam. Huh, okay. Called it, lied about schooling and failed. The resident Asian calls out the Asian. Oh, that's funny. There's a Colorado woman on the run for killing 2 of her 3 kids, 1 in hospital. Shit! And it was someone from San Francisco saying that. Yeah. That's what I thought that was interesting too. Okay, moving on. Do we want to talk about Crikey? I think we kind of need to talk about Crikey. It's a fairly short article. I'm not a fan of Crikey anymore. They're a news agency that has basically, ever since they got in their high horse for getting into the defamation suit with the Murdochs, they've sort of, in my opinion, lost their way. That's my own personal opinion, though. Why are you lawyer, not doctor? That's terrible, Mandy. No notification. That's all right, Guy fan. You're here now. That's the thing that matters. Okay, Elon Musk's X is betting that Australia is too weak to protect its elections. That's some bullshit right there. And this is what annoys me, because this is a journalistic outlet that is basically saying that free speech is a bad thing, and I'm not really happy with this. The platform, once known as Twitter, failed the lowest of hurdles this week. Will we do anything about it? Yesterday, Elon Musk was voted off the island by the rest of big tech. Australia's tech industry group, a Digital Industry Group Inc., Digi, which represents the biggest Silicon Valley tech companies, including Google and Meta, sanctioned X, the company formerly known as Twitter, for failing to meet the group's own rules on how member platforms must deal with misinformation and disinformation. So here's the thing. You've basically got Google and Meta and a bunch of tech companies out of Silicon Valley turning around and saying, no, we are happy to capitulate to government authority. You're not doing the same thing, so we're telling you off. We're sanctioning you. Yeah, get fucked. It's true, and America is weak as well. That's why we have the evil people doing whatever they want. Okay. One of Digi's main functions is to run the Australian Code of Practice for Disinformation and Misinformation, a self-regulation effort meant to show the industry is capable of policing itself. On October 5, tech advocacy group Reset Tech Australia complained that X was failing to meet its obligations arising from being a signatory. So why didn't they just stop being a signatory then? It is said that X didn't offer users a way to report electoral misinformation or voter intimidation and suppression efforts during the Voice to the Parliament referendum. So basically, the people that lost are probably out there whinging and moaning and saying, oh, we're not happy with the way that it was promoted on X. How else did we end up with Albus Sleazy? That's a good point. However, the failure to let users report when someone was using its platforms to undermine an election wasn't the reason X was removed as a signatory to the code. It was, in fact, that X had policies against this kind of electoral misconduct, but didn't offer a way to report it. The code's requirements are hardly exhaustive, and yet X wasn't able to meet the lowest of bars. To wit, if X hadn't bothered to make policies about electoral misinformation, it would still be a signatory to the code. So that was the whiny, bossy-ass chick who kept poking her elbow into my gut on the flight. What's her name? Oh! Only we can decide what disinformation to spread, is basically how it's seeming, yes. But what they're saying is that if X had never actually put if X had never put the policies in place, they wouldn't really care. After the complaint process where X representatives promised to attend a meeting but pulled out less than 2 hours beforehand and then promised to file a defense but never bothered, Digi's independent complaints subcommittee upheld the complaint. What does this mean? To put it bluntly, sweet fuck all! X's status as a signatory to the code has been withdrawn, but that's the extent of the direct consequences. So who the fuck cares? They didn't want to be held to ransom by a whole bunch of other companies that are more than happy to bend over and take it up the arse, so I don't really have any sort of an issue with that. The Orc can't stay but came to give a like, thank you very much, which reminds me, people, we are already 42 minutes in. Holy shit, we're already 42 minutes in. If you haven't already, please make sure you double check whether or not you've hit the like and subscribe buttons, check whether or not you have been sliced off by YouTube, and, why aren't they self-policing the pizza shit? It's a damn good point, Sanglant. Are they X policies or Twitter policies? Well, that's the thing too, because these policies would have been in place before X was taken over. So, Green's digital rights spokesperson, Senator David Shoebridge, who can suck it as far as I'm concerned, he's a Green senator, tweeted that the punishment was a whack with a wet lettuce leaf. Was it your wet lettuce leaf? There is community concern about online misinformation. Yeah, true. This is true. But it's the internet. People are free to say and do whatever the hell they please as long as it doesn't involve children, as far as I'm concerned. Well, preferably animals as well. In a survey by progressive think tank, the Australia Institute, progressive, that's a lovely word there, 72% of respondents were concerned about the lies and misinformation that circulated on social media during the referendum campaign. Yeah, here's the thing. They've said 72% of respondents were concerned about the lies and misinformation. But that's a very, very deliberately phrased thing. They were worried about lies and misinformation. How many of those people were complaining about the lies and misinformation being put out by Labor, who were the proponents of the voice? Just saying. And yet on X, which is barely hanging on but still remains a premier online platform for news and politics through inertia, oh, fuck off. It is not doing anything about the most egregious form of misinformation that seeks to derail a crucial civil function. Other reporting by Guardian Australia shows that even the Australian Electoral Commission struggled to get X to remove viral bullshit. Because they don't have to remove shit. And by the way, we saw exactly how biased the Australian Electoral Commission was during this whole thing, so. Is it a Hobbit mug? No. This is a Pecco Pete's mug. This is I got this at Matsuri. I love this thing. It literally holds a litre of whatever I want. And if I take this back to Matsuri with me, I can pay $10 per day to get unlimited refills. No worries, Sammy. Have a good day. Tell the government to tell the truth then? Yeah. Yeah, we're concerned about the lies and misinformation of the mainstream media, who utilize platforms like this to spread said misinformation and crap. Oh, shit. Did I have... I thought I already had it. Hang on. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use
their platforms to push their own personal bias. To push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
And people wonder why I don't trust mainstream media anymore. Looks like the wife's going to let you go on vacation alone again. Yeah, look, if I can crowdfund it, yeah, guys, I will start pushing for Matsuri. Probably starting next month. We'll start working towards that. But yeah, where are we? Okay. In a way, X's decision to just ignore the rules is helpful. It reveals how flimsy the pretense is for the platforms run by foreign billionaires can be trusted to run themselves in a way that meets expectations of Australia. Even when someone such as Musk is so blatant and publicly flouting any duty of care to his platform's users, we're still playing catch-up. It's too late to do anything about X's failure to protect our electoral process during the referendum. It wasn't his responsibility to protect the referendum. More to the point, it would have been brilliant if we'd kept a whole bunch of misinformation about what the voice was and wasn't going to do out. So, and they'll two friends, and they'll two friends, and so on and so on. Yeah. Sure, none of the newsreaders follow the lefty script. Yeah. Okay. It's exactly the reason why something such as the government's combating misinformation and disinformation bill exists, of which the video is finally done. That will be going up shortly, so hopefully that'll be able to keep people informed and entertained as to exactly what's going on with the misinformation bill. Admittedly, I did it like a month and a half ago. Just sort of got around to finishing editing it, so some of it may be out of date, but, 24 pages, not the one Albo talked about. Yeah, well... there are risks and issues with the bill in its current form. Communications Minister Michelle Rowland is making some changes before introducing it to Parliament next year, but failing to do anything is already putting our elections at risk. Oh, bite me. Oh, yeah. Cameron Wilson looks like someone that I want to take news from. Absolutely. Got to be a certain age to remember that commercial. We could control the world if we couldn't talk to each other. All right. And...
Gay!
Free tampons and pads now required in Canadian government-controlled men's rooms, because why not? All federally regulated employees in Canada are now required to stock free feminine hygiene products such as tampons and pads in restrooms, including the men's rooms. New regulations went into effect earlier this month under Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's left-wing administration, specifying that menstrual products must be in all toilet rooms regardless of their marked genders, according to Canada's Employment and Social Development website. This means that every female-identified, male-identified, and all-gendered toilet rooms will need to have products available, the website says, noting that the availability of these items better protects menstruating employees and makes sure that they feel safe to use the toilet that best reflects their gender. The policy applies to all federal public service departments, Crown corporations, banks, airports, and train yards, according to the Canadian Broadcasting System Corporation, I should say. The products are intended for employees' use and not for members of the public, the publication reported. Additionally, all affected employees are required to make sure a covered container for the disposal of the products is also provided. Disposal container must be placed in each toilet room that has a toilet. The policy reads on the government website, in rooms with multiple toilets, a disposal container must be in each stall. Sounds like a good time to put an end to public use toilets. Well, two things that came out of this in the last 24, 48 hours that I saw online. One was a rather disgusting meme of Dylan Mulvaney with a crap-covered tampon. The other one was... Oh, shit, what was it? There was a... Oh, yeah, the news article about people that are trans cracking the shits because genetics laboratories are insisting on having the genetics accurately listed on their results. So, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Flaming hot Dorito seasoning causing breathing difficulties in Australian factory workers, according to a union. There's a reason I use the guys' room, no hygiene products. What's wrong with people just carrying their own products? Why do you need a big billboard in the bathroom? It's not only that, like, as bad as it sounds, yes, sure, you can get caught short. But at the same time, ladies, no offense, kind of feel like the money could be better spent because I feel like this is being abused. I'm not saying that it's on you ladies. I'm saying that in the circumstances now, I feel like this is being abused, and I feel like it's a waste of money. So men have to carry purses now? Yep. Smith is installing extra fans in an Adelaide factory after workers claimed that they were having difficulty breathing and experiencing skin irritation from dealing with the seasoning used to make flaming hot Doritos. Safe Works South Australia is looking into the claims after the United Workers Union alleged employees at the Smith's Snack Food Company factory raised significant safety concerns about the improper handling of strongly irritating substances. Speaking of strongly irritating substances, I went into our international candy store yesterday, and I saw some of the... I think Runkle may have actually eaten them before. They're like these amazingly hot chips. And I flipped it over, and I was reading the warnings on it, and it said, do not ingest if pregnant. Do not ingest if possible heart attack. Like, I was reading through the various things, and it's like, do not eat if you have gastrointestinal issues. Do not... Fucking, I was laughing. A Dorito lung. Yep. Why does America cover everything in bright red and blue? In 2024, there will be flying cars. Reality. Tampons in the men's room. Unfortunately. My Asian foreman ate hot Cheetos and crapped his pants and went home. Ugh. Thank you for that. In the report sent to the workplace regulator, the union said flaming hot seasoning dispersed across the factory production area every couple of weeks from a seasoning machine. After interviewing 13 workers from the afternoon shift, 11 reported various effects, including sneezing, coughing, eye and skin irritation, runny nose, sore throat, chest discomfort, and difficulty breathing. You're literally working with capsaicin on a daily basis. Okay, if you have the appropriate safety equipment in place, you know, an actual mask that filters out the capsaicin, whatever you need to cover your hands and all that sort of stuff. Well, I noticed a cancer warning on salt and vinegar chips a few months ago. Jesus. Just replace pepper spray with Doritos. Oh, I got a Dorito in my eye. Let natural selection take effect? Yeah. Food packages are going to have a diarrhea level on them soon. God, I hope not. Actually, I don't know that they can, because that'll be very subjective from colon to colon. Alright, the union alleged they failed to maintain safe systems of work, and in another claim, the factory's waste hall was unsafe. Smith's markets flaming hot branded Doritos and Cheetos. Spokesperson for PepsiCo, which owns Smith's Snack Food, said that the safety of its people was its company's top priority. Oh, I doubt that. We know corporate responsibility is a fucking fallacy. If it's bad for the shareholder's share price, it's bad for the company. Everything else, they don't give a shit about. I cleaned at a hospital and I got myself a mask when I used harsh chemicals to protect myself. That would be the smart thing to do. When I made Kung Pao chicken, I have to open the windows. I usually have 7 or 8 peppers per batch. Damn. Kung Pao chicken. I don't know why I did that. Anyway. We're following a number of safety procedures and protocols when producing products with spicy seasonings to further enhance our measures. At our Adelaide site, there is a mandatory mask wearing during production of this product, and we're installing extra extraction fans. So you're going to blow the capsaicin and seasoning out into the... Someone is going to be walking past that factory and they're going, damn, did I just get hit by a pepper spray? What the to further enhance these measures, we're committed to working with our people and the union to address any further concerns. Yes, it's to cover their ass. Yep. SafeWork was considering the union's complaint to determine whether it wanted further action, a spokesperson said for the workplace regulator. A previous complaint lodged by the union in January reported a buildup of seasoning dust, but did not mention any adverse health effects for the workers. In response to the January complaint, SafeWork inspectors attended the site to ensure that adequate controls were in place to minimize the risk to employees. The union was contacted for further comment, but did not apparently provide one. So, meh. I call some absolute bullshit on some of this. I mean, if you know you're working with hazardous materials, you take the appropriate safety precautions. Like, it's common sense. If you have an aversion to stop for gas at Taco Bell, I hate you. Or you don't cry when something bad happens. Well, there is that too. Oh my god. I mean, look, they need maintenance of the machines more and clean more. Well, yeah, but at the same time, was all their PPE taken away during the global bug scare? I mean, if the appropriate levels of PPE are in there, exactly, there's no common sense anymore. Like, seriously. All right. Hospital patient steals ambulance, leads police on a chase in South Carolina. We are back in South Carolina. People who are overly sensitive should find a different job. Absolutely. A patient at a South Carolina hospital was feeling well enough to steal an ambulance from a parking lot and lead police on a chase. How high was this guy? The Union County Sheriff's Office was notified of the theft at the medical center at 10:50 a.m. on Friday morning. A deputy who was near the hospital got behind the ambulance and tried unsuccessfully to pull it over. Oh my god, that reminds me. Have you guys seen the footage? There's a cop out there that performs a pit maneuver during a car chase. It's his fucking captain, and he doesn't realize. The guy does the pit maneuver, the car in front of him spins around, as the front of the car turns around, the senior officer turns his lights on. And you just see the dash light up with red and blue lights. It's hilarious. Because then the captain gets out of the car and just starts like ripping him a new one on camera. It's freaking hilarious. South Carolina's Florida Jr. If only other states in America had the sunshine laws, we would hear about all sorts of funny shit from all over the place. I want to hear about the alligator attacks in Louisiana. I want to hear about the morons that go and like try and wrestle an alligator and lose an arm or some shit like that. All I know is don't put contacts in after cutting up peppers. No, and don't touch your junk either. A deputy who was near the hospital got behind them. The driver identified... Dude was high as fuck. Look at those eyes. The driver identified as 34-year-old Collier Bruce Simons of Enery fled and drove erratically on Highway 49 towards Lauren County. Police continued the pursuit into Spartanburg County. Florida man. No one ever stole an ambulance at my hospital, but one driver ran into a door. He looks so sad. It's Adam Sandberg. The chase ended near Highway 221 and Parker Road, about 25 miles from the hospital. He was taken into custody without incident. Get on the ground! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! He is charged with grand larceny, failure to stop for blue lights, so driving under suspension, being a habitual traffic offender, and driving left of center. It's not clear why he had been admitted to the hospital. I'm going to say psychiatric issues. Psychiatric issues, maybe? Oh, this one's a good one. Hayden had long curly hair like that in his high school photo. I absolutely did not. I've never had curly hair. And surprisingly, I've never actually had long hair. Like, if it gets down to my neckline, I actually feel really uncomfortable. Like, it took ages to get used to the beard. Are we supposed to stop for blue lights? I thought we stop on red. I think that's their way of saying that he didn't pull over when the red and blue lights were flashing. So, hang on. Here it is. I found it. So this is the cop that pit maneuvers his own boss.
You'll see only on Local 10 of an FHP trooper stopping a speeding car only to discover it was being driven by another law enforcement officer. That trooper thought he was on the tail of a reckless driver.
And he was shocked to find out who it really was. Local 10's Ian Margol is live in Miami Gardens with the exclusive. Ian.
So this...
Wait, what? Breaking news, the Federal Court of Appeals just ruled that a California law prohibiting carrying of guns in public places will go into effect on January 1, saying the law is constitutional. Shit. Oh, man, it's California. So.
Happened at the end of November. This trooper thought he was chasing a reckless driver who had fled from a traffic stop. Instead, he ends up spinning out another cop. This is a textbook use of the precision immobilization
and then he put the lights on.
Better known as a pit maneuver, but they normally aren't
it's like,
used.
What the fuck you doing, man? I was chasing somebody.
Against other law enforcement officers.
Oh, I didn't see your lights. I didn't see your lights.
This incident happened on November 29th. Florida Highway Patrol received reports of a car that fled a traffic stop and was driving recklessly. After a bit of driving and following directions from dispatch, the trooper recording this dashcam video gets behind a dark-colored Kia and begins to follow. They leave the 826 and continue eastbound on Northwest 167th Street before making a left turn to go north on Northwest 12th Avenue. Then, right as they approach Park Center Boulevard, the trooper pulls up next to the Kia and performs the pit. Then, watch carefully. The driver of the Kia leans...
That's when he puts his lights on. Troopers are freaking dangerous. That's not a police car, so fuck him. Yeah, well, I mean, look, the simple fact of the matter is he should have had his lights on if he was actually pursuing someone, which, to be fair, in that footage, you can't see him chasing anybody. So as far as I'm concerned, the cop with the lights may well have been the one that fled from the traffic scene. We don't know. If he was legitimately speeding and was driving recklessly, just because you are in uniform does not necessarily mean that you are above the law if you're not actually... Like, if it's not part of the qualified immunity. Don't get me wrong, qualified immunity fucking sucks, and it should not exist. I didn't see a car for him to chase. No, exactly. That's what happens when you defund the police and have teenagers working now. The captain is above the law.
Leans over and turns on his own red and blue lights. Turns out it was the wrong car. Instead of stopping the fleeing driver, the trooper spun out an Opelika police captain.
You kidding me? Oh, I got the wrong car. I didn't see the lights in the back.
The two Leos got out and began
That's because there were no lights in the back. We can all see that from the footage.
talking about the mistake. The FHP trooper saying he saw a car with dark-tinted windows speeding down the road, so he assumed it was the car he was looking for.
He had no lights on his car, and he was hauling. I thought it was the car. That's my fault. That's fault. It should have been a blue Mercedes, and he's in a Kia. That's my fault.
Oh, dude, don't admit to that. Jesus, what are you, serious? No, it's not a police car. Lights are a protective measure to let people know that they're police. Yeah, and if he was engaging in a chase, he should have had them on. Probably had a heart attack, but he did nothing wrong. Cop who did the pit maneuver did nothing wrong. The other car should have been using their lights. Yeah. So, I just thought that was interesting. Where are we? Florida woman demanded ex and new girlfriend have a threesome with her, and if not, she was going to kill them. Would you have a threesome with this woman to save your life? Nope. A 38-year-old woman in Florida was arrested last week for allegedly threatening to kill her ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend if the couple did not have a threesome with her. Cynthia Ann Ray was taken into custody on Christmas Day and charged with 1 count of aggravated stalking and 1 count of written threats to kill, court records reviewed by Law and Crime Show. According to a probable cause affidavit, deputies with the Lake County Sheriff's Office at about 8:30 p.m. on the night of December 25 responded to a 911 call about a report of criminal mischief at a home located in Groveland. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders immediately encountered an adult male who identified himself as the ex-boyfriend and explained that Ray had been harassing him in inappropriate ways. The phrasing on that. Look into the ticket wars the American cops used to get into. No, hello, St. Michael. I'm gonna have to die. How is this Florida woman and doesn't involve an alligator or driving a lawnmower? Well, we don't know that it doesn't involve an alligator. We don't know what the other woman looks like, so... the boyfriend prefaced his latest complaint by alleging numerous past instances in which she had allegedly threatened or wronged him in some fashion. For example, he claimed she'd recently slashed the driver's side tires on his truck of his new girlfriend, and had recently... That the girlfriend had recently gotten all the vehicles parked outside his house. Then, after they replaced the tyres, he claimed that she came back a second time and punctured the new tyres and stayed outside the house honking her horn. He also claimed that Ray had shown up at his home unannounced multiple times in the past few weeks without him wanting her to be there. But have you... Dude, phrasing there, because that... Okay, my lawyer brain kicked in there and said, were there instances where you had her over at the house voluntarily? Okay? Do not... what do you call it? Do not enable a stalker at all. Send your Discord present prepared for you to say fuck off and bite me. What the hell did you do this time, Andy? Also claimed Raid shown up unannounced. The boyfriend then told deputies he'd been receiving disturbing messages that day and showed them that he was receiving messages from Ray in real time. He then pulled out his phone and showed the messages to which he had not replied. However, there were numerous messages in a short period of time. The messages that he was receiving while we were on scene were over random topics but stayed consistent with her saying vulgar language to him and telling him that she loved him. The defendants did send a message to the victim saying that she wanted to have sexual intercourse with him and his girlfriend, and if not, he was going to kill them. The boyfriend sent a message back to Ray asking that she stop contacting him. She allegedly replied that she did not care what he wanted and she would continue to send messages. When deputies found Ray, she was inside of a tent put up on her mother's property. She claimed she'd not left the residence at all that evening, but deputies said the hood of her car was still hot from having recently been used. Inside the car, they found a knife. Ray was then placed under arrest and booked into Lake County Jail on $15,000 bond. She's currently scheduled to appear in court on the morning of 22nd of January 2024. I kind of want that one to be televised. Drugs. Drugs are bad, kids. Stay away from drugs. Do you have drugs? With drugs. Alright, I'm pulling up. My audio is probably going to go because I've just opened up Discord, so just give it a second in case anything happens. Sandy, that makes me look like Sam Bankman-Fried. That is not okay. Why didn't you block her on social? I think it was just text message. And it's like, well, why didn't you just block her number? Like, it doesn't sound like she was actually... Like, don't get me wrong, it sounds like she was going to physically hurt him. But at the same time, it's like, well... You want to see it? Of course you want to see it. There you go. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, now this one pisses me off a bit. 80 local council areas cancel Australia Day citizenship ceremonies. In a move that is set to further ignite debate about the future of Australia Day, more than 80 councils have, in my opinion, overextended their authority because they're not recognising our constitution. They are there purely under state legislation. They need to pull their asses together. In a shock move that is set to further ignite the debate, more than 80 councils across Australia will dump their traditional ceremonies, citizenship ceremonies on January 26. In 2022, only 4 councils across Australia chose not to hold Australia Day citizenship ceremonies, 3 in Melbourne and the City of Sydney. But a year later, despite the Voice's resounding defeat, at least 81 councils nationwide announced that they would not be holding citizenship ceremonies. I'm willing to bet that these are the same councils that have decided, oh yeah, we're going to have our own voice. You look so much better than that picture. Thank you. She whips this stuff up in minutes. Yeah. She's pretty good that way. The change follows a decision by the Albanese government in December 22 to revoke the rule that would effectively force local councils to hold citizenship ceremonies on Australia Day. We need Labor out. We really do. Albert Sleazy needs to take a hike. Airbus elbow, whatever you want to call him. He can go and sit on the beach in Bali where he prefers to be. I don't care. Abolish the councils? Happily. There is nothing that a local council does that the state government could not do. Okay? There is absolutely not a damn thing that they could not do. All they really do is organise to collect money from property taxes and ratepayers and make sure that they engage with a third-party company to have the bins collected every week. There is no way that the state government couldn't just organise a department to do that. And if you want to go on about planning and planning permissions and all that sort of stuff, again, that could all be handled by an offshoot of the titles office. Are they going to destroy Anzac Day? They don't want to come after Anzac Day because they know full well that if they go after Anzac Day, there will be a full-blown revolt. No, they're going after Australia Day, the day when we have been recognised as a nation that it's effectively our Independence Day. That's what they're trying to take away. That is what they're trying to take away. You want the power over to be as localized as possible. Look, in that instant, the power over you to be localized as possible. I disagree, mainly because the more that it gets diluted down here, the more you wind up with power-hungry sycophants that take a little bit of power and let it go to their heads, basically. According to the Daily Telegraph, the surge in councils choosing not to mark the country's National Day has prompted accusations from opposition immigration spokesperson Dan Tehan that the Albanese government is laying the groundwork for its abolishment. When is Australian New Year's? In about 14 hours. I'd rather not be ruled by either of them, frankly. Albanese has said even though the government has given councils a choice, they should continue to conduct pledging I support Australia Day. He rejected charges from the opposition that his government was determined to kill Australia Day, firmly saying there are no changes here. No, because what you've done is lay the groundwork so that other people can do it for you. You're not to blame, but you're letting other people do it. It's piss weak. Sydney Mayor Clover Moore has led the charge against Australia Day, describing it as painful for many. Ms. Moore said that the City of Sydney will be holding ceremonies on January 29 instead, in line with the new government code, just as they did last year. There you go. That's the woman that's decided that she knows better than the rest of the country. Is Australia Day celebrated with blowing your fingers off with fireworks? Yeah, he's opening the door for it. He said ceremonies formally held on January 26 in the city of Sydney had low turnouts of only 10 to 15 people, while their new January 29 date is expected to see 160 people become Australian citizens. Miss Moore also put her full support behind changing the date of Australia Day, claiming that the date of a national celebration should not be on Invasion Day. However, some councils are reporting blowback. Bundaberg councillor Greg Barnes told the Courier Mail that the revelation the region had moved the day prompted fury amongst locals, with 9 residents voicing their opposition to the move at a public appearance on Saturday morning. Mr. Barnes said he got absolutely hammered by residents about the issue and insisted the ceremony will be held the day before January 26 to allow all councillors to attend the event. He said he was supportive of the National Day of Celebration, declaring Australia Day to me is Australia Day. Rockhampton Mayor Tony Williams said his council also planned to hold the ceremony on the evening before to avoid severe heat at outdoor events, citing an instance at last year's Australia Day where an attendee suffered heat stroke. So do it the evening of Australia Day. Is there even glass in her glasses, or are they just for show? Cartman, that's a new one. Hello. He also insisted the decision was unrelated to Indigenous concerns, saying it wasn't part of the thinking. Oh, we're already now at 12. Okay. Cops say a pastor tried to deep fry McDonald's cook. Latoya Gladney, a 44-year-old manager in training at McDonald's in North Carolina, told police that her employees were disrespecting her last night, so she called her husband to assist her. Investigators allege that when Dwayne Waden, a 57-year-old church pastor, subsequently arrived at the restaurant in High Point, he chose not to turn the other cheek. Cops say Waden walked into the kitchen and began punching Theodore Garlington, a McDonald's cook, in the face. Waden also allegedly wrapped his hands around Garlington's neck and began pushing his head towards the deep fryer. Whoa. Before Garlington, 34, could be dipped in hot oil, several employees interceded, pulling Warden off the victim. Garlington suffered a large contusion to the forehead and right eye, along with scratches on his neck. While EMS workers responded to the scene, Garlington chose to have relatives transport him to the hospital. After High Point Police Department officers interviewed witnesses and reviewed security footage, Waden was arrested for assault. Bond was set at $1,000 and a January 22 misdemeanor trial is scheduled. According to his Facebook page, he works as a semi-truck driver and is pastor of Elevated Life International Ministries, which recently celebrated its 2nd anniversary. Waden's church, with the slogan "Where Hope Starts and Life Begins," has operated from a storefront space next to a Bueno Burrito in Thomasville. Baptism by fire. Chose not to turn the other cheek. Classic. It is unclear what effect last night's melee will have on Gladney's managerial aspirations at McDonald's. Somehow now the mob's using pasta as cover. Oh, I don't know. I think maybe, just maybe, she might be finding another job is all I'm saying. Oh, that's funny. All right. Where are we? I wasn't going to talk about So Peanut, the world's oldest chicken, has died at the age of 21. I think he's probably a little bit too stringy to turn into KFC. Do I want to talk about this one? It's quick. Toddler found out in the cold after she was left alone in reach of pot, according to police. Madisonville woman is charged with endangering the welfare of a minor. Is that really all she's been charged with? After police say she left her toddler alone in their apartment. Police were called to Penroll Park Apartments at about 3 a.m. on Friday morning. They say the toddler was wearing just a diaper, jacket, and boots when found out in the parking lot. Temperatures were in the 30s and it was raining. Police said that the toddler was cold to the touch. They say she was able to point out where she lived, but there was no answer at the door. They knocked on the door for 20 minutes trying to find someone who knew the girl. They said the apartment manager arrived and called the girl's mother, Dominique Gary Coleman. Wait, what? Her name's Dominique Gary Coleman. See, this is where I wish I had my sound effects again. Respect my authority, fry cook. Sounds like an odd interpretation of what would Jesus do. Yeah, huh? What you talking about, Hayden? That has to have been, like, they have to have legally changed the name. That can't be legitimate. Officers say Gary Coleman claimed to be in her apartment. Plot twist, it wasn't a toddler, it was Gary Coleman. It's claimed to be an apartment, but they spotted her walking over from another building. They say she told them she left the child asleep in her room and went over to another apartment for just 10 minutes. However, police say they'd been onto the scene for twice that long. Inside the apartment, they found a tray of pot on the floor. Gary Coleman was taken to jail. The toddler was put in care of family members. I'm sorry. This is a horrible situation because I hate the child abuse stories. I really do. How often do I get to say that it's a short story? How often do I get to use the words Gary Coleman was taken to jail? Like, seriously. Oh, that's freaking awesome. Okay. Alright. A Florida woman has been shocked to find her entire driveway stolen. A construction company saying it'll cost 10 grand to replace it. Who steals an entire driveway and for what purpose? When most people encounter scammers, they usually try to take their money or valuables. For one Florida woman, her entire driveway was stolen. The Orange County resident, Amanda Brochu, oh no, Brochu, family of Sonichu. Oh shit. Put her home up for sale in early December and made investments such as replacing the roof and completing minor repairs. But days later, her son told her that several people had stopped by the home to measure the driveway. Brochu told the WFTV that her son counted 5 contractors over a few days. Brochu managed to confront one of them, who told her that a man named Andre had reached out to him asking for a driveway replacement quote. Andre had told the contractor that he was the landlord. The contractor gave Brochu Andre's number and provided screenshots of text messages between him and Andre. Text messages showed that Andre received a quote for $7,200 to replace the driveway, which Andre had agreed to. However, he was unable to meet the contractor to pay the deposit. At this point, the contractor became wary of Andre's claims and said that he was the landlord and demanded proof of ownership before starting the job. The contractor has not heard from Andre since. She called Orange County deputies who called Andre. They said that he said it was a mistake. He just got the address wrong and nothing else will ever happen again. Oh, bullshit. Yeah. Everything is free. It was her dealer's house. Poor Gary, he doesn't even get to rest in peace. Driveway stolen. This is what Disney did to Reedy Creek taxpayers. Following week, the entire driveway was missing. Rocky Sanchez, a real estate agent with whom Brochu hired to sell the home, told the station, it was unbelievable, like utter shock. I've never seen this before. I've never had this happen before to myself or anyone in our office. I've never seen this before either. Like, how the hell does... Why? Andre 3000. What possible use do you have for stealing someone's driveway? Because if you pull it up, it's going to be in pieces anyway. I mean, it's not like it was a gold-plated driveway or something. I mean, did it have platinum in it? Who the hell knows? Deputies have since launched a criminal mischief investigation into the incident. They called Andre again, who told him he had nothing to do with it before hanging up. I'll bet he said that. I just want to find the person who did it because it's wrong that they targeted me and my family for this. Meanwhile, Brochu is on a time crunch. He's currently under contract to purchase a nearby property and had planned to use the money from selling her current home to make the down payment. Ooh, plot twist. Andre wanted to buy the house that she bought, and so he's torn up her driveway so that she can't sell her previous property. Plot twist. No one's going to buy this. This brings down the property now, and it's just messed it up for me and my family. A company she called quoted her 10 grand to replace the driveway, which she does not have. Brochu has started a GoFundMe to help her replace the driveway and the deposit. In August, a Georgia man was arrested for allegedly stealing a full wooden porch from his neighbor. The porch had been towed at $3,000. I saw that. Oh my god. If you're going to steal a porch from somebody's house, don't attach it to the front of your house next door. Just saying. Heard of sidewalks being rolled up at 7 p.m, but not the driveway. Grind it up and reuse it somewhere else. Maybe. Depending on what the driveway was made of, they could reuse the whole thing. I wouldn't know. Look, I don't do a lot of construction, but...
We begin with the story you'll only see on channel.
No,
I'm Carla Ray. Tonight, deputies are investigating after someone ran off with an Orange County woman's driveway while she...
Obviously, I have to pause and actually give some commentary on this because, you know, Need to GoFundMe to buy more KFC. You will buy me more KFC. Okay. Unless this is legitimately someone screwing it up for her because they know that she's trying to sell the property and needs the money in order to purchase another property. I mean, yeah, you can grind it up, you can reuse it, you can do whatever else. What? I lost my driveway in a fishing accident. I lost my driveway in an unfortunate boating accident. It's some hood tactics. Yeah.
She was at work. You heard that right. And now our Nick Papantonis is time.
This has put that in jeopardy.
Come home and my driveway's gone.
Amanda Brochu isn't exaggerating. What used to be a concrete slab out...
It's a concrete slab! Register your driveways. Ban all assault driveways. Insurance still wouldn't pay it. Look, there's a good chance that she didn't have insurance. Let's be perfectly honest on that place. I mean, let's be fair here.
Outside 1438 Bethesda Street is now a patch of...
Sorry, for some reason it being on Bethesda Street was funny to me. Lying by the sea, hello.
...of dirt that she didn't ask for. Someone took her driveway as she was trying to get ready for Christmas.
Of all the things that you worried about getting stolen, did you think the driveway was one of them?
No, not at all.
Brochu says it all started...
You know you're in a real hood when they're taking your driveway. Concrete like that can't be reused, so it really was just to fuck with her then. Driveway, it was definitely hash. Okay.
When she put her home up for sale, strange contractors started coming by, measuring her driveway. Her son counted 5 of them. One told Brochu a Tampa area man identified...
Oh, it's Brochu, not Brochu. My bad. They took the driveway. Yeah, we can't work out why, because it was a crappy piece of concrete. It's not like it can get reused, and yeah, I genuinely am starting to think that it's the whole, like, messed up way that they decided, oh yeah, let's, found the driveway, it's in her pants. Oh, Michael, that's not nice. That's funny, but not nice. Like, it's convoluted, but I'm thinking someone really wanted that house that she was trying to buy. Gypsy took a driveway to sell her a new one. I suppose that's always a possibility. Bodies in the driveway? Maybe. How come she can't afford to replace the driveway, but she can afford a BBL?
Identified as Andre asked them to price out a replacement.
That's funny, but harsh.
Text messages supplied by the contractor showed Andre asking the contractors for an estimate and giving the Bethesda Street address. But Andre was out of...
Left town yesterday to go to be with my sick dad in Georgia, and I want the job to proceed before I'm back in town so I can meet you there to pay the balance. Also, I'm going with Slate Pavers, so text me the address to mail the check to this afternoon. That's already, like, that's already sus there. I can see why they... Sorry to hear that. I hope he gets better soon. But on that case, I'll need full payment before starting the job. Okay, don't worry, I'll find someone else. Thank you. Classy. What if someone did it because they were at the wrong house? Unlikely, but painters paint the wrong house. Well, I mean, look, when they were initially contacted Andre, he originally said, oh, it was the wrong house. If it was pavers or bricks, you could pack it up pretty easily. Yeah. When a football AstroTurf pitch is being built in my city, there was a delay because a bunch of AstroTurf got stolen the night it was fitted. Oh, my God.
Of town when this contractor asked for an in-person meeting and then cut off communication when asked for proof of ownership. Brochu called law enforcement.
After the cops spoke to them, they called me back. And they said
100% revenge.
He said it was
That's
a
what I'm
mistake.
thinking.
He just got the address wrong. Nothing else will happen again.
1 week later, this...
Why would he specifically say nothing else is going to happen again? Like, you would just say, oh, it was an accident. Done and dusted.
This image from Brochu's doorbell camera captured a bulldozer tearing out the concrete and hauling it away.
Utter shock. I've never seen this before. I've never had this happen to myself or anyone in our
$5 on disgruntled baby daddy? Maybe.
office.
Real estate agent Rocky Sanchez is helping Brochu sell her home. She posted about the situation in a Facebook group for realtors and believes Brochu is the victim of a scam.
What? They arranged to go in and take someone's driveway so that she has to arrange to have someone else give her a new driveway? Is that part of the scam? I mean, it's pretty ballsy when you think about there's no guarantee that even if someone comes in and takes it away, that they're going to go with any particular company. So unless every single driveway company in the area is in on it, how do you... Yeah, it's a pretty dumb scam. If it was another house, he would have told the contractor the address after clearing up the misunderstanding. Exactly.
But neither woman knows what the scam is.
Had multiple people come forward saying that they've seen things like this happen, whether it be driveways, roofs, painting, even outside the exterior. So it's
Yeah, look, you can kind of understand it being a scam for painting because, you know, you go in, you repaint a house if you issue an invoice for whatever work you've done. I've seen that scam before. But it's literally you're going in and you're stealing somebody's driveway. For what purpose?
It happens more often than
Is it literally just criminal mischief at this point?
Deputies have launched a criminal investigation into the situation, but Brochu needs additional help. She says she just replaced the roof and made other investments and doesn't have the $10,000 she's been quoted to replace the concrete. If she doesn't fix the driveway and sell the home in the next 2 weeks, she'll lose out on the home she's under contract to buy.
The cat was involved. Well, maybe drive the Prius in. She's got this all happened 2 weeks. This is why I hate buy-sell transactions, okay? Drive the price down? Maybe. That's actually a good point. Maybe someone's looking to buy it and they decided to steal the driveway so that they can try and drive the price down. But I mean, then has someone approached her to purchase it for a lower price then?
Down the road.
No one's going to buy this. This brings down the property now. And that just
I guess if she was banging a contractor and he's big mad about something.
messes it up for me and my family.
The family is now trying to scrape together the money to pay for a replacement driveway. They've set up a GoFundMe to help them on that. We're going to put a link to that on WFT.
All right, I'm going to get out of that because I don't really care about the GoFundMe. But I mean, actually, you know, I want to see whether or not what do they come up with so far. Oh, she's going to be fine. They quoted a 10 grand to fix it up. And, what's that? That's the Wizard of Oz. They quoted her 10 grand, and she's raised 13 and a half. She's going to be fine. So, it's a cozy little 3-bedroom house. Everyone's a house flipper now. They should link her OnlyFans. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, where are we? Let's save that. Shamed DJ said he was paralytically drunk when he filmed himself urinating on an elderly man. I should bloody well hope you were drunk as a skunk, you dick. Oh yeah, he looks a little bit like Stephen Curry. A shamed wedding DJ claims that he was absolutely paralytically drunk when he filmed himself urinating on an elderly man before posting the footage to social media. Lee Brookfield, 40, pled guilty to common assault after the incident on Boxing Day. Brookfield had apologised for the incident and the subsequent video, which took place at the urinals in Llanelli Tennis and Squash Club in South Wales. He will now be sentenced at the Magistrates Court in January. The video shows an elderly man standing next to Brookfield, 40, at the urinals and speaking about his serious health issues with his prostate. Brookfield said he was sorry to hear that, but as he urinates on the man whose back is turned and doesn't realise what's happening. The DJ, who has been a regular at the venues for around 15 years in pubs and weddings, posted the video on Snapchat, and it was then widely shared on Facebook by people who were outraged by his behaviour. Okay. Being paralytically drunk and pissing on someone is one thing. Being sober enough to post the video to social media and make fun of it? Yeah, good luck with that. If he could post that he wasn't that drunk. This is true. Gypsy Soul, hello, how are you? Yeah, he definitely knew. In a Facebook post, Brookfield said he was deeply sorry, adding it was just something me and the boys do when we're drunk. Dude, are you in the closet? You literally just admitted that you and a bunch of blokes get together while drunk and piss on each other. Like, wet work is a little bit out there for me. It's not something that even remotely interests me. But clearly, if you getting drunk, removing your inhibitions, puts you in a position where you are happy to piss on other men and have them piss on you, you may need some therapy. Who's taking the video? He did, apparently. What level of drunk do you have to be to pee on someone else? Never been that drunk? Nope. And until watching the video back, I didn't realize that the nice gentleman next to me was going through health problems. Why would his health problems make a difference? You pissed on the guy. Like, yeah, no. His account was later deleted following a fierce backlash. I'm shocked. Wait. So it goes from... So he turned the camera! He turned the camera! Few ideas for the geniuses tonight at New Year's Eve? Yeah, not so much. Are we talking about Nick? No. It's assault, yeah. But he later told Wales Online that he was absolutely paralytically drunk when the incident happened at around 8 p.m. in the social club, and that he could not really remember any of it happening. That does not make a goddamn iota, scintilla, I think is the word that they keep using. Does not make a goddamn scintilla of difference how drunk you were. Healthy, please don't pee on me. I'd have to be drunker to let someone pee on me, says Linda. Linda, I'd hope you'd have to be extraordinarily drunk. I've seen the video and I'm disgusted with myself, as well you should be. My hand on my heart, I'm not aware of what the gentleman was saying to me. I was crying watching what I did. Today, December 29, Brookfield appeared at the Magistrates Court charged with common assault in relation to the incident where he pled guilty. He'll be sentenced on January 19. Yes, farting on someone can be assault as well. DJ filmed himself urinating on cancer patient in 6 Snapchat video as cops investigate. Oh, no shit! So the prostate issues was actually cancer that he was talking to him about, and he's standing there pissing on him. Don't drink and drive and pee. Some of us don't have a choice whether or not to be peed on. Andy. She's pretty when I'm drunk. Maybe he thought he was on fire and he was playing fireman. Tom Nash, new music. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, that honestly is just feral. It really is. Don't really care about the bouncing plane. Okay. Texas coach arrested after spending $5,000 at a strip club on the school credit card. A former Texas middle school soccer coach, of course he's former, was arrested for theft of property earlier this month after allegedly abusing his district credit card to pay for more than $5,000 at a Houston strip club. According to the Wise County Messenger, former Bridgeport Bulls assistant coach J.D. Bales is facing third-degree felony after the school district completed an investigation over the summer and the local authorities found evidence of criminal offences. Bales resigned from the school in September due to the district's investigation, in which he spent... Hang on. That's not just $5,000. That's almost $5,500. $5,455.81. How the hell do you spend 81 cents at a strip club? Like, he suffered some real backsplash from his pee games. I mean, yeah, you're going to have drinks that end in 99 cents. Oh, actually, no, 81, that would make sense, because that would be exactly... That'd be 9 cents. Yeah, okay, that actually makes sense. Why do teachers have school credit cards? More to the point, he's not a teacher. He's a coach for the soccer team. Why did he have a school credit card? The Men's Club of Houston in the Galleria while in town for a coaching clinic. Bridgeport Police Chief Steve Stanford told the Messenger that Bales previously attempted to file the thousands of dollars as fraud, but authorities investigating found that it involved the misuse of taxpayer money. During the investigation, which included information about Bales, that Bales had formally claimed the incident was fraudulent, with both the school and the financial institution, investigators discovered evidence indicating a criminal offence had occurred. So he was recruiting. Can't help but wonder if Detroit school systems spend their money like this too. School credit card to fuel the team transportation. He certainly fueled something. As long as the kids weren't in tow, I see no problem here. I have less of an issue with him spending at the strip club as I do having him reporting it as fraud, because that itself is fraud. He eventually submitted payment for the charge. However, due to the overwhelming evidence in the case, most importantly the case involving taxpayer money, I believed it prudent to submit the case to the district attorney. He was released on a $10,000 bond after being indicted by a Wise County grand jury. The Messenger reported that Bales was hired in 2018 and was also a special education teacher. Oh, there you go. That's what that. Okay, that explains a little bit. The kids were waiting for him outside. I love this though. Was a special education teacher in the district. He's looking after the special needs kids. Was he scouting for cheerleaders? His arrest follows 6 of the soccer players being arrested for allegedly hazing new players. The players were accused of forcing young athletes to strip their clothes, film them, and push them to make degrading comments about themselves. Classy. So there you go. All right. We're at the 1 hour and 1.5 hour mark, so we're going to move on to the big topic of the night. Now, all right, I'm just going to pull this down. I've reached out to the gentleman we're about to talk about. Hopefully, I can get in touch with him. Unfortunately, the only way that I could find to get in contact with him was to tweet at him because he doesn't allow direct messages, and none of the LinkedIn profiles had email addresses and that sort of thing that I could actually use. But I want to talk about a gentleman who is a academic, or was it? Well, I mean, technically he's still an academic. He wrote 84 peer-reviewed, well, more than 84 peer-reviewed articles. Admittedly, most of them in human resources, so I'm not going to get into the whole validity of this study and that sort of thing. But he worked at RMIT as a professor. And he's been let go because he criticized Greta Thunberg. Because how dare he? And, yeah, Angel looks cute. And it's sort of like, I'm really unhappy because, as you know, I'm a very big proponent of free speech. It's something we don't have here. It's one of the things that I'm most jealous about the US for. And the fact that he claims that he was fired over this is quite, like, disturbing if the allegations hold. So, all right. So, this is Professor Andrew Timmings. Fired from RMIT University over a tweet. Now, this is his webpage, and then I'm going to get into some news articles about it. I was unlawfully fired by RMIT University in December 2023 for exercising my workplace rights. It all started with a tweet. This tweet. Demeaning sexual jokes when directed from a woman to a man. Everyone laughs. Demeaning sexual jokes when directed from a man to a woman. Bomb and skulls. After being threatened with disciplinary action and subsequently bullied, I lodged a complaint in May 2023 alleging a violation of the university's academic freedom policy. This was the start of my nightmare. The week after lodging my complaint, I was stood down as a professor of management and deputy dean of research and innovation and prevented from communicating with any of my colleagues. When I asked why I was being stood down, I was told that RMIT had initiated the termination of employment on grounds of ill health. Clause 31 in our enterprise bargaining agreement, in spite of the fact that just one day before my stand down, RMIT was provided a letter from my doctor stating that Professor Timming is fit to carry out his usual duties now and in the future. So they're hiding behind that. Free speech is cool, but hear me out, no monster spiders. Look, the big ass spiders that we have, which reminds me, oh, hang on. 30th, oh no, it'll already be the 30th in America. The Codeword Funweb will no longer work. I'll have to sort out a new locals thing. They really are trying to kill free speech. Well, here's the thing. We only have a limited right of free speech in relation to political things. And the High Court of Australia saw free speech as in the free speech in criticising the government or other agencies as so intrinsic that they crafted it themselves. It's not in our constitution. It's not in any of our legislation. The High Court saw it as so important that they did legal gymnastics to pull it together themselves so that we have as limited free speech as we do have. So basically, they're saying he has ill health and they're trying to stand him down. RMIT viciously bullied me for months. It withdrew sponsorship of my department's defense security clearance when the university's own doctor instructed it to return me to my role as deputy dean with immediate effect. The following week, I was instead sacked as deputy dean with immediate effect, reverting me back to my underlying professional appointment. I have a pet huntsman. He's called Chad, lives in the shed. We have a constitution. What we do not have is a Bill of Rights. I brought RMIT to the Fair Work Commission under its anti-bullying jurisdiction to force them to return me to work after having been stood down for months. Rather than face a loss in the Fair Work Commission, the university finally returned me to work in October 23, at which point the bullying reached fever pitch. When RMIT attempted to load me up with teaching that was not agreed to in my work plan, I initiated the workload dispute resolution clause in the bargaining agreement. Just days before Christmas, I was sacked, allegedly for not doing the very work that I was already disputing, legitimately under the agreement. Basically, they overloaded him, and when he could not keep up with it, they used it as grounds to fire him. If they have to do mental gymnastics, they're going to screw you. No, not so much like that. I was actually really proud of them for the way that they handled that, actually. The real reason for my termination was that I exercised a workplace right to complain about RMIT's violation of my right to freedom of speech. I've appealed my termination to RMIT's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Alec Cameron. Please sign the petition to let him know that free speech in universities must be defended and that I should be returned to work with immediate effect. Yeah, so that is basically how he puts it out. So let's go to the tape and see exactly what is being alleged. RMIT University Professor Andrew Timming claims he was fired over free speech concerns. A sacked Australian academic who was let go over a tweet argues he has the right to be shocking and offensive as a petition against his former employer to have him reinstated gathers steam. Professor Andrew Timming alleges that he was dismissed by RMIT University just before Christmas as a result of a lengthy response to a social media post that he made in December 22. The former human rights management professor has since taken the university to the Fair Work Commission, claiming he was bullied and unlawfully dismissed by the institution. The tweet he believes to ultimately be the catalyst for his dismissal was in response to a Andrew Tate tweet teasing Greta Thunberg with a picture of himself in front of his Bugatti vehicle, boasting about his 33 cars and asking for the activist's email address so he could send a complete list of their respective enormous emissions. Thunberg responded, "Yes, please do enlighten me, email me at smalldickenergy@getalife." Fairly innocuous, really. Is it like the black snake in my shed that eats mice and keeps other snakes away? Just be careful with that. Timming questions why Thunberg was praised for the remark, pointing out that he believed it to be a sex-based double standard. Demeaning sexual jokes when directed from a woman to a man, he accompanied by a smiley face and a wink face. Demeaning sexual jokes when directed from a man to a woman, the second sentence read accompanying with a bomb emoji, skull, and crossbones emoji. In May of 23, Professor Timming lodged a grievance alleging that the university had failed to uphold its academic freedom policy when it threatened disciplinary action over the tweet. He eventually brought RMIT to the Fair Work Commission under its anti-bullying jurisdiction before why can I not say RMIT? Is that a Bugatti? Yes, it was a Bugatti. RMIT allegedly placed him on extended leave. He alleges that upon his return to work, he was loaded up with additional teaching that was not agreed upon as part of his work plan, and the bullying continued. Alright. It is further alleged that when Professor Timming disputed the additional teaching under the enterprise agreement, that the matter was referred again to the Fair Work Commission. He claims that RMIT terminated his employment for refusing to do supplementary work, which he was disputing. He recently launched a petition to address to the Vice-Chancellor requesting to be reinstated. In a statement released via the Free Speech Union Australia, Professor Timming stated universities are failing their duty to uphold freedom of speech and workplace rights, including the right to make a complaint. Black snake is the name of a species here in America, commonly referred to with bulls. Huh. Yeah, right, you got me there. She is like 13 years old by they're making sex jokes. Hey, just because she's got the mental ability of a 13-year-old doesn't mean she is a 13-year-old. No professor or student should suffer adverse actions over protected speech. Trouble is, mate, no such thing as protected speech here. We know this. No professor. When academics and students are afraid to speak for fear of retaliation, there's no point in a university. The purpose of higher education should be to encourage debate and disagreement. We cannot sacrifice speech on the altar of politeness. Academics have a right to be shocking and offensive. He has previously contributed to the Conservative Spectator magazine and considers himself to be one of the few openly conservative academics in Australia. RMIT told News Corp it doesn't comment on individual staff matters. Yeah, bullshit. Which Bugatti is that? That's not a Veyron. Alright, now that's not the video that I wanted to watch because Sky News did an actual interview with him. Now this is like 10 minutes long, so I'm going to be pausing and stopping and whatever else, but Free Speech Union of Australia Professor Andrew Timming says academics have a right to be offensive and shocking. Timming sat with Sky News host Carolyn Marcus to discuss the hate that he receives when he comments on the Me Too movement and freedom of speech. First thing I would say is that I've published and peer-reviewed journals on the Me Too movement before, so I have every right to comment publicly on this particular matter. The fact that he actually has to defend himself as to why he comments on things as well. I understand that some individuals may be offended by the tweet. I understand that there were a number of complaints that were made to the university. That's neither here nor there. I agree with you on that.
I want to return to our...
And as I said, I reached out to Professor Cummings. I've got cricket on the brain. Professor Timmings And I would love to discuss this matter with him. I really would. Aren't all hot women at least a little mentally disabled? Careful. Oh, come on. Really? Oh. For some reason, if you don't turn it on when the timer goes on, it will not play properly.
I want to return to our exclusive story now, where a former RMIT professor is taking on the university after he was stood down days before Christmas. He believes he is being treated unfairly over his conservative views. Professor Andrew Timming joins me now. Professor, how are you feeling after your sacking?
It's been difficult. It's been a difficult week for me. But having said that, I knew that it was coming. I knew almost immediately after I lodged my grievance that the university had decided that I needed to go. And it tried for 6 months to get me out. I didn't leave voluntarily, so I knew it was going to happen. And it does help when you anticipate something's going to happen.
Well, let's go back now to the tweet that you say pushed the university over the edge. You noted how demeaning sexual jokes from a woman to a man were treated differently than those from a man to a woman. Now, that attracted a pile-on from Greta Thunberg's supporters. This was, of course, over the whole Andrew Tate, Greta Thunberg
Who's really shocked by that?
How did the university handle that Twitter storm?
Well,
wait, what's that? She can drink, she can handle some feedback. If not, she shouldn't be acting as a sock puppet. She's going to prove my point, isn't she? Possibly.
I mean, first thing I would say is that I have published in peer-reviewed journals on the Me Too movement before, so I have every right to comment publicly on this particular matter. I understand that some individuals may have been offended by the tweet. I understand that there were a number of complaints that were made to the university, but that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, academics have a right to be offensive and shocking. It's embedded into the free speech codes of universities. And in my view, that tweet was neither offensive nor shocking.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you going to own that or what? Oh, you're just going to pretend to be asleep? You guys probably didn't hear it, but that dog just let out a ripe one.
It was simply an observation of the sort of double standard when it comes to sexual harassment across the two genders.
I think a lot of people at home might be wondering what all the fuss was about for such a seemingly innocuous tweet. But what was your treatment like at the university after all of that happened?
Well, immediately after the tweet, I was brought into a meeting and I was threatened over the tweet itself. You know, as a result of the pressure, I ended up deleting my Twitter account. And I'd hoped that that was going to be enough to assuage or to pacify the concerns of the university. But
wait. So when he put this tweet out, the university actually openly said to him that there were issues, and it was to a point where he felt pressured that he had to delete his Twitter account. I'm sorry, but no. I mean, granted, we don't live in as a free a country as I would like, but this is the whole thing that I keep saying about how we need to be able to separate people's personal matters from their work matters. I mean, I hate the thought of Kevin Spacey having gotten away with whatever else he may have allegedly done. I know that he was acquitted, whatever else. But there are certain movies that I love watching him in. Hell, even in when he played the character in Call of Duty, in Advanced Warfare. I loved him as a villain. I thought that was brilliant. John Barrowman, people have issues with him. I have no, the point is, people have to be able to separate someone's work from their own personal opinions. And at no point should someone's personal opinions be grounds for firing them.
But after that point, I was essentially a targeted individual at RMIT. And I suffered a number of incidents that ultimately resulted in me lodging the grievance against the university, alleging violation of the university's free speech codes.
It wasn't just
Well, I don't know that it's a case of cancel pigs going after their own. I mean, he's legitimately a conservative professor. Like, he's one of the few people that was actually probably someone that you want to listen to at a university. So I don't know if it's, you know, that makes sense, Aiden. He's only ever accused, never went to court, Spacey's innocent. Okay. Looks like the textbook definition of a beta cuck. Jesus Christ.
Just the tweet, though. You did have articles published, for example, in the Spectator magazine. Is it fair to say that you believe that you were essentially being discriminated against or punished by the university for being openly conservative?
It's not easy being a conservative in academia. The reason it's not easy being a conservative in academia is that most of my colleagues and most of university administrators tend to be of the political left. And it is difficult to be in an environment like that when your values don't align to theirs. When someone from the right, like myself, looks at individuals on the left, I might think, these people are naive or they don't quite understand the way the world works. But when people on the left view right-wing people like myself, they don't look at me as naive. They look at me as evil. And when you look at an individual as evil, it's very easy to dehumanize and mistreat. And I think that's essentially what happened.
Well, the university's position was that you were fired because you refused to do work that had been allocated to you, amounting to serious misconduct. What do you have to say to that?
I call that a crock of shit. Just because there are different, like, I'm as a lawyer, I personally would want to see a copy of the bargaining agreement, but of course there's going to be reasons why that wouldn't be the case. It needs to be balanced. All the same opinion isn't teaching students to think. No, but they definitely don't want students to be thinking, frankly. Post more nude men dancing gifs. Prove he's right wing. Let's see his voting records. I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
I mean, look, just to give, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty because there is an appeal underway at the moment, and I think all the details will eventually come out. But what I can say is that a week after lodging my grievance, I was stood down. When I asked why I was stood down, the reason I was given was that the university had initiated the termination of employment on grounds of ill health clause in our bargaining agreement. This is a curious thing because the day before, the university received a note from my doctor stating that Professor Stimming is fit to carry out his normal duties now and into the future. And on the very day I was stood down, I gave a normal presentation to my colleagues, and they saw that I was fine. I was stood down for a few months. During that time, I was viciously bullied. I was sacked as Deputy Dean Research and Innovation. The university's own doctor, who I was referred to through an IME, told the university that I should be returned to work with immediate effect.
I'm trying to work out what their allegations for ill health would have been. I mean, if they sent him to an IME, an independent medical examiner, it's a doctor that's basically paid to provide a medical report on somebody's health and well-being. Generally, you see them in personal injury to gauge what level of impairment they have so they can claim compensation, various things like that. I kind of feel like maybe there's a little bit more to this story. And again, this is where I'd sort of like to actually delve a little bit deeper into it. Because I want to know why, on what grounds they were saying, oh yeah, Australia has some pretty openly conservative public figures, doesn't it? Thought it would be more conservative than Europe. Rockers Life, generally there are some fairly conservative people. What you'll find though, as I'm sure you guys over in the US would be seeing at the moment as well, universities are generally a breeding ground for left-wing and left ideology, basically. Uni really just called him retarded and told him to get the fuck out. Pretty much, is from the sounds of it, yeah. So, excuse me. What do they say? You were never young and stupid if you were never left-wing. You've never matured if you're not right-wing. But I think that I would love to see a little bit more in terms of conservative thinking in Andrew Timming is a whinging American in Australia. Why do you think he's American? He's not. Like, I Basically, HR saw him as a potential problem because he's going to report women for sexual harassment and destroy the current liberal media narrative, so they're firing him. Possibly. Yeah, you got Aussie to say retarded. Congratulations.
Instead of returning me to work with immediate effect, they just continued with the stand down and wouldn't let me back in. Finally, I ended up taking them to the Fair Work Commission and the anti-bullying jurisdiction. Rather than face a loss in that jurisdiction, the university did finally relent and let me back into work in October of this year. And at that stage, And
then he was back for 2 months, and then they found another reason to get rid of him. Thought he was American too. His accent isn't very thick.
Tried to throw a bunch of additional workload onto me that hadn't been agreed earlier in the year during our workload discussions. Having tried to impose all this additional teaching workload on me, I initiated through our enterprise agreement a dispute resolution procedure that enables individual academics to dispute their workload.
So let's boil this down, because basically what they try to do is get rid of him saying that he had ill health. He had a doctor that he was sent to that basically said, no, he's perfectly fine, send him back to work. Then when he comes back and he's reinstated in October, they do the equivalent of, so say you're a checkout chick at a supermarket, they're basically saying now not only do you have to work the checkout, you have to count the registers, you have to do stock work, you have to do whatever. They've piled a whole bunch of extra work on him and said that if you don't do this, we're firing you. Pretty sure his contract should be against that, so. Boosh, I'm not reading that one. Maybe he was in the US for too long and lost a little bit of the Aussie accent. Look, he may well have been. I don't know. Look, I don't know. I don't know what his background is. He may well be American for all I know. I don't really care. Point is, he's an academic that was working at an Australian university.
This matter was pushed to the Fair Work Commission. I followed all the legitimate channels to dispute that workload, but rather than listen to what the Fair Work Commission had to say in the matter, the university just decided that I was being terminated for not doing the very work that I was legitimately disputing through the enterprise agreement. So it's obviously unlawful.
Yeah, I was going to say that on the face value is unlawful. So that one's going to be interesting.
And I have every intention of holding the university to account. I will not go gentle into that good night, as Dylan Thomas said.
Dude, you could have just said you won't go quietly into the night. Don't gay it up, Jesus.
Well, we'll go a little bit more into what you're planning with that appeal and the other action that you've taken in a moment. But I just want to get your view. I mean, we've seen so many cases recently, starting perhaps with Jordan Peterson over in Canada, closer to home, Holly Lawford-Smith, Peter Ridd, cases where academics have spoken out publicly about how they feel their free speech has been infringed upon. What do you view as happening here in Australia and overseas when it comes to free speech on campuses?
Ooh, this will be interesting. I'm curious as to what he's going to say here, because we have next to no free speech on campuses. I had previously seen many instances where people would call shit out at university, even when I was back at university, and this is talking a good, 15 odd years ago? No, 12, 13 odd years ago. If students spoke out about certain things, you knew what you could and couldn't talk about. Like, sideways talking mouth equals. John Long last name says, Happy New Year, Aussie. See you next year. Heading out for the night. Hope you have a good evening. No worries. Have a good day.
It's simple. Free speech is under attack. But I should probably clarify that statement to say that it's only particularly aspects of speech that are under attack.
Well, yeah, it's only speech that the left doesn't like that's under attack, because no one likes people that disagree with them. People forget that you're entitled to have an opinion.
I find that as long as you are towing the woke narrative, so to speak, or pushing the woke message, you can say whatever you want to say with essentially no repercussions. But if you take an alternative view, such as I do, a view that accentuates the benefits of conservatism and the benefits of free markets and free enterprise, these views are very much viewed with disdain. And as a result, so many academics.
Why did they have to throw Jordan Peterson in there? Like, not going to help the cause there, just saying.
Are afraid to speak up, and quite rightly so. Why wouldn't you be afraid to speak up? I mean, look at what happened to me. Look what happened to Holly Lawford Smith. Look what happened to Jordan Peterson.
Look what happened to Mighty Meat.
Any number of academics. And that's why this year I've been a founding member of the Free Speech Union of Australia, who happens to be representing me in my current case, in my current
get
appeal.
clicks throwing Jordan Peterson.
And it's absolutely essential that we have a mechanism for enforcing the rules that we all agreed on, the rule of law. It is the rule of law that enables society to function properly.
Yay! We made it back to some legally based stuff. Awesome! Did Mighty Meat? Yeah, he did. That he did. If anyone is not aware that is watching, Mighty's channel got nuked from orbit yesterday. No strikes, no warning, no nothing. Just advised that he allegedly breached a policy policy violation. Not that they could tell him which one. And his channel may be back in the next 7 to 28 days. If it is not back before then, it is gone entirely. So, peeps, if you wouldn't mind, if you were following him previously, go and follow him over on Rumble, because that's where you need to be, okay? Free thought is extremely important in academia. It's supposed to be, yeah. Willing to bet $50 right now, that's why Mighty got nuked? Yeah. So, yeah. They never tell you which policy? No.
And no one is above the rule of law. When I say the rule of law, I'm talking broadly speaking, not just about obeying the law, but about obeying employment contracts and policies and procedures. No one and no institution is above the law. And we absolutely need.
Don't forget the God-given laws of humanity as well. The ones where everyone has intrinsic rights, which, although not anywhere near as equally represented here in Australia, still exist, as far as I'm concerned.
Need an organization like the Free Speech Union to hold other organizations to account when they infringe on people's rights to free speech.
Well, okay, Professor, finally, I just want to ask you where that appeal is up to. You've got an appeal currently, an application before the Fair Work Commission, rather, I should say, a complaint with IBAC, as well as a petition that you just mentioned on this Free Speech Union of Australia website, asking the Vice-Chancellor, demanding rather that the Vice-Chancellor of RMIT reinstate you. How do you rate your chances in all this?
Look,
realistically, even if he is reinstated, you know that it's going to be a hostile workplace. You know that for however long, whilst he continues to work there, it's going to be a circumstance where they're going to be looking for an excuse to get rid of him. They're going to curtail his research opportunities. They're going to do any number of things. Personally, if I were him, I'd be looking to get into another university, frankly. But it'll be interesting to see exactly how that goes.
What the university has done over the last 6 months has all been done in the shadows. That's not the case anymore. People know now what's going on. I think that will create a sense of urgency on the part of the university to ensure procedural fairness in this appeal. I was terminated last week, a couple days before Christmas, right? Great Christmas present. As a result of the enterprise agreement, I have a right to appeal that decision. So technically, I've been terminated, but there is this process that the university now has to go through. And I feel that my chances at the appeal stage are actually pretty good. I know the Vice Chancellor of RMIT personally. I've spoken with him about free speech issues, and I believe he genuinely wants to do the right thing. You know, we'll find out, but I think he wants to do the right thing.
Professor Timming, good luck with it all. Thank you for your time. And
so there's that. As I said, I reached out on X to the professor. If anyone wants to go on, like or reshare the tweet or wherever, try and bring it to his attention, that'd be great, because that's literally the only way that I could see to get in touch with the man. But yeah, I mean, look, the whole thought process that even something as innocuous as what I would say was a very fucking tame tweet could cause an academic to lose their job over this. It's just not right, frankly. And it violates so many of my own personal values to think that an individual can lose their livelihood and be treated in such a manner just because they had an opinion. So, but anyway, all right, I'm going to pull that down from there. So I'm going to bring up the dog. So guys, it is now 11 a.m. I'll be back in 13 hours. No, you know what? I'll be back in 12 hours because I started at 11 to ring in the new year and watch some fireworks, although it might be a little bit subdued. We're supposed to have some pretty wild weather today. Oh, and I do want to announce, I did actually snag an interview with a certain individual who we have talked about in the news recently. I'm hoping to do that on the 12th. I'm not going to give too much away just yet because I don't want anyone to, snake the interview. But very much looking forward to that. So, but as always, people, please remember, you are not a piece of shit. You have value when you do contribute to society, especially if you double check whether or not you've hit that like button for me, whether or not you are still subscribed, share the video, all that sort of stuff. If you have the energy for it, leave a comment. Let YouTube know that I am worth watching. No, it is not Jordan Peterson. I wish. Thank you to everybody that dropped memberships. Chuck Wilson, thank you very much for the 5. Aaron Hack. And I think I might have missed this one, so I do apologize. Tammy. Also, again, as I said at the start of the show, thank you very much to Jacobs Brad Marjore for the PayPal donation yesterday, which gave us Doggo Cam to start with. But thank you very much. Opinions are dangerous. Now, probably. Have fun, people who don't work. Promotion of that interview is a must. Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to happen. And, next week, next Friday, I have my birthday bash, so I won't be doing a Source Saturday this month. Week after that, Jeff's got his drinking stream, but I will be doing, I'm just going to have a party, basically. It's not every year you turn 33, so let's get on it. But as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, people, and I shall catch you all on the flip side. Cheers, peeps.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.